everyone, Trina here. I'm going to do a flip through of a couple of little mini matchbook journals, I guess, that I made. So yeah, let's get started. I'll start with this one. So these, as you can probably tell, have an autumn theme. Punched holes here to hold the pages together and tied it with some ribbon. There's a little bulb pin here with a little bead, little charm on it. The back of it's just plain, as you can see. I did make some reinforcements to go on the holes there. And here's just a little teeny tiny tag, some little fake leaves, some lace, and this is some, I guess it's like a faux leather material, and in the background some corrugated cardboard that I inked up. Okay, let's go ahead and open it up. And over here I created a little pocket using some paper that I stained, dyed. I don't remember what I used for it to do it, probably food coloring. Alright, there are a couple of tags in here. And this one actually has a real leaf on it that I dried, and then I just inked up the tag behind it. You can see some of it on the back, a few ribbons on the background. It's a little piece of, I think, suede there, and then just regular ribbon, and tied those with a little bow. I did go over this with a little bit of gold acrylic paint. I think that's picking up, you can see that. And this I ran through one of my machines in an embossing folder, and then just went around it with that gold paint too. And it's just some of that twine up here, baker's twine, gold and white. And I did put a little bit of lace across the top of that paper pocket there. Okay, I did ink the edges of all the paper. And then this was actually part of a challenge, for those of you who don't know, Crafty Emporium, who is Carol Tinson here on YouTube. She put a challenge up, and it was a swap, and I made a couple of extra. The other ones I mailed away, but the idea was to create this matchbox journal, matchbook, thanks very much, matchbook, and just use, excuse me, a bunch of random papers to put inside. Alright, so here's the first piece of paper, and this is actually paper, not cardstock. There are paper pieces, designer paper, as well as some that I hand dyed, again, either with food coloring or some other something. It was a while ago that I made these, so I'm not exactly sure. And let me go ahead and apologize for the lighting, the camera, and so forth. I moved, and I'm trying to get a new setup going. It's not going so well so far, but I haven't had that much time to devote to this, but I do want to get these excuse me, these videos made and out the door in my spare time, which is very minimal at the moment, in addition to working full-time. My grandchild is being homeschooled because of COVID, of course, so I'm the one who's doing her schooling. And this is actually, this was made with a vintage piece of paper that's over 100 years old. This piece here, and you'll see the other half of it. No, you won't. Anyway, so this is a really old piece of paper. And then here we have some more of the designer paper. And I believe this is tea-dyed paper. This lighting is atrocious. My apologies, my apologies, my apologies. I guess I could have waited, but I'm really anxious to move on to some other projects in my spare time. And another piece of designer paper. And then here's another piece of ledger paper that, again, this piece of ledger paper here is over 100 years old. And then more designer paper. Another piece of paper that I dyed, and I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up because, you know, in general, I'm having a suck time here, but there is some mica powder on this, and it has a faint sparkle to it. My focus is just not working. It's probably due to the lighting. I believe this piece was coffee and tea stained. And I do put all of these in the oven when I make them because I love that noise. Sorry if it's annoying you, but I just love that crinkle sound. Here's another bit of ledger paper. Again, over 100 years old. And some more designer paper. And there's the inside. Okay, that is the first one. And the second one is very similar. On this one I used a bead that's not see-through like the other one. Green ribbon instead of the brownish ribbon. Again, I made my own reinforcers. I did ink all the edges of the cover. And another mini tag, a couple little fake leaves, more of that material there, and some lace. Again with the corrugated paper, cardboard actually, that I inked up. Alright, we'll go ahead and dive inside this one. Again, I made a pocket here. And there's some ribbon here, but on this one I put a little bit of cardstock across there as a border. I don't know if you can see that design very well. It's picking it up. Again, that's an actual leaf that I put on here. I think I used Mod Podge on these to seal it in, and I inked up the tag, and then after that I did go over it with some gold paint, which I think you can see. And there's the back, the same suede and ribbon there, and then this little baker's twine bow there. And again, this went through my embossing machine with an embossing folder, and I inked that up with gold paint. And there's it in there. And then more paper. And there were a couple of these that my granddaughter helped me with because she likes to do crafty stuff, and she's 6. She's about to turn 7 actually, but she's 6 at the time. And so I think in this one there may be, can't remember exactly, may actually be a piece of paper that is upside down, but that's okay if that's the case. Alright, so here's this double-sided paper. Here's some more of that vintage paper. Again, my orange dyed paper that I think I did with food coloring. And yes, crunchy, crunchy. More of the designer paper. It is double-sided. I don't know if you can really, if the camera's going to pick that up very well because it's pretty faint design. More of that coffee and tea dyed paper there. More designer paper here. It's blank on the back. Some green paper here. Again, I believe there's some mica powder on there that was baked in. That I actually put into the die so that when I baked it, it would be in there. Some more of that vintage paper here. Another piece of designer paper. And then back here, some more of that vintage paper. You can actually see some numbers on this side. More coffee and tea dyed paper, I believe. More designer paper. And that is that. Well guys, I appreciate you, those who stuck it out, putting up with the bad lighting, the bad overall experience. But as I said, I really want to move on. I wanted to get these done, but with moving and just everything that's associated with that, I've been busy for the past 4 months or so. So I just wanted to get these up and again test out my equipment and see what's gonna work out best for me. It's a learning process, so I appreciate it. Thank you so much for bearing with me, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please consider subscribing, liking, and don't forget to hit that bell to get notifications. Thank you so much guys. I hope you have a great day. Bye bye.